you found out via a text and social media that you guys weren't coming back. Tell me, were you angry? Were you
That was just kind of like a low blow move. That was a fucking low blow move because at the end of the day, we all have to live, we all have to pay bills. But it's a difference when you got it and others don't. Like,
Employees, if you've done right by them, they always will stick with you to the end. So I really feel like this just goes to further emphasize all of the rumors.
This is Common Courtesy, a conversation on modern society from an LGBTQ plus perspective. A talk show for working LGBTQ plus individuals and allies who are active in their own communities and who also wish to stay woke about what's happening in today's world. With your host, John Nicholas. If he's creating like a separate night for, trans performers, is that not inclusive? Or Nikki Prue?
The positive, good vibes coming off of you in this whole topic is just, it makes me very happy.
Angelique Young.
That everybody was kind of in a good spirit, and then they heard that the owner was coming and the alignment went differently.
I had a crush on my best friend in school. I flirted with him.
Allegedly. From the stories that I heard.
The weak ass joke. And I don't know how anybody
Hold on. So, let's start the conversation. This is an opinion-based show, not a news outlet. The views and opinions of the guests on Common Courtesy TV solely reflect their opinion and or experience and not of Common Courtesy TV or any of its affiliates or hosts. Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Common Courtesy TV, a panel discussion talk show for the working LGBT plus individual and our allies who are already actively involved in our community and want to stay woke about what's going on in our modern society in our Bay Area. And who am I? I'm Sean Nicholas. I'm an actor, performer, and also sobriety coach as well from alcohol. I'm a year and a half sober. I am joined today by my awesome co-host. We have show director and trans activist. We have Angelique Young. Angelique.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are ready for today's hot topics. I'm so excited. Also excited to have LaQuana here because we are reunited and it feels so good. I cannot wait to hear everything you have to tell us. It's going to be so good.
Cool beans. So first, before we get into LaQuana's story, I kind of want to ask Ange, how was your break? We haven't been recording for a couple of weeks. How was your ending of the Pride Month?
It was absolutely phenomenal. I got the ability to host St. Pete Pride with Idina Menzel on Friday night for the concert. I got to meet her and get something signed. She was absolutely fantastic. And I got to spend that time just experiencing St. Pete Pride for the first time, not being invested and involved in the parade on the other side, so just as a patron. So that was fun. My 4th was low-key. I got to do amazing fireworks with my family. So it's been an overall great end to my Pride Month. I had a lot of peace, no drama, no nothing. So it's been really good. Can't complain. How about you?
A little bit of the same, I saw Idina as well. I was in the crowd and we saw you. Me and Nikki was like screaming, Angelique. And I love
if
how
you guys stayed to that. I performed at the end and I got off the stage and I went through the crowd. It was actually really cool to be able to do that too. So I was in the crowd, yeah.
We didn't get a chance to stay to the end. We kind of left in the middle of the performance. I'm like, girl, we gotta go. My feet was killing my ass. But I love how you did backflips when Idina introduced you. This bitch did a back handspring up in this bitch onto the stage. It was amazing. I had a great time. I'm glad that I got a chance to see you perform in a bigger venue and honestly in your prime, bitch. Also as well, 4th of July was great as well. But I want to get to this week's hot topic. We're talking to LaQuana. And if you are out there in the St. Petersburg area and have done karaoke, you've heard her voice. Now, LaQuana used to work for a location that we have talked about this year on the show, Zoe's. Recently, if you have not been living under a rock, we've heard that Zoe's had closed because Jeff was suffering from cancer. But I kind of asked myself, because low key, someone told me they were closing. I asked myself, I wonder if, anybody knew beforehand they were going to close. Was this like a planned thing, or was this something that everybody was on the end? And it was funny. I thought that because Quana, I saw you, and I got to introduce you to the show. Everyone, if you ever, like I said, if you ever gone out to do the karaoke, you've heard her voice. She's done Tina Turner. She's done every diva woman out there. Please welcome to our stage and panel the singer and amazing human being, Quana.
Hi, Anthony. It's so good to see you all. Thank you for inviting me on the show. Beautiful.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being. Sorry for the crazy introduction because we just getting back. There's a writer's strike, and we're producing this show on our own. No.
That's right.
So Quana, yeah. So I'm glad you reached out to me because, like I said, I often thought, did anyone know who was working at Zoe's currently knew that they were closing when a friend of mine told me behind the scenes that was going to happen. And I saw you on Pride, I think it was Sunday. I saw you and I kind of knew it was coming. Yeah, I knew it was coming, and we had a conversation and whatnot. So let me ask you, because I think a lot of people can relate to this. Florida is the one places I've seen that you have small businesses and they just close out of nowhere. How did you find out? Because everyone else found out on Facebook and social media. How did you find out that they were closing?
Well,
and were you prepared? Let me ask it. How did you find out, and were you prepared for that?
So the first part, how I found out was pretty much a text in our seven shift. So he sent out a nice little letter. Nice little text stating to everybody that today officially was the last day that we was going to be actually open, which was that Sunday, 12 hours before my
the 26th, right?
Actually, I think it was the 19th, maybe. It was that Sunday that when they was doing the Pride Festival on that, they had all the vendors on Central.
It was the 25th.
It was that actual Sunday. Yeah, it was on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah, because they were open for Pride.
Yes. They was open for Pride. That Sunday was his literally last day for operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I found out. So I had an employee that hit me up, and the actual sous chef that was over the kitchen, he was not aware either. So when I found out, it was literally 12 hours before my shift, because my shift was going to start that Monday morning at 8 o'clock. So
wow,
that's when I found out. I was very surprised.
So basically, you woke up. Basically, you went to sleep or whatever, having a job, and you woke up finding out you were now unemployed again.
Right. I hadn't been back to work since that Friday. I don't really work on the weekend. Yeah, I'm a Monday to Friday girl. So I found out Sunday evening, 12 hours before my shift. And to answer that last part of your question, I was not prepared at all. Thank God my mom always raised me to kind of be independent in a way. Like always have something, a plan A, a plan B, and sometimes a plan C. So I had my own little business going on, but it wasn't like a consistent income flow. You know what I'm saying? So I was not prepared, but I was at the same time very surprised. Very surprised. Like very surprised. And I thought to myself, wow, I feel like as a business owner, you could be just a little bit more respectable, just a little bit more respect to let people know, give a notice. And when that started, the 7 shift text went out, everybody went crazy. It's like I got a text from my
So I just kind of want to.
coworker.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just kind of want to go back to when you said you were very surprised. I remember you. Were you surprised because I remember you saying that allegedly there was a meeting where Jeff said he wasn't going to close.
Yes, so allegedly, that, like you said, like, yes. So people was talking about that he had a meeting. I knew he was gonna have a meeting, but we weren't from the kitchen. We wasn't invited to the meeting, so I just didn't go because I didn't think it was mandatory. Not knowing that he was gonna announce that his cancer had came back and all that was going on. But the thing is, they was like, what was said was, oh, we're not. Don't worry, we're not gonna be closing. We're gonna be taking off, and things are getting better. This is a bring up this. I wasn't surprised when he closed per se because I heard people talking like, well, he's not going to be able to do that and do this and do that. So like in the back of my mind, like I knew that eventually a change was going to come, but I wasn't sure that it was going to happen so quick. It just like happened in the like lightning. So it was no notice. I think that's what really surprised because it just happened all of a sudden. It was like all of a sudden thing. And this was on a Friday, Sunday. So, and I was actually on. I was on the script, and I was wondering why they closed early today. You knew they were gonna be open for brunch. It was closed after brunch. They closed down, not
Shut
knowing
them.
that was 10. When I got the news, it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Not knowing that that was the thing. Okay, so that was big. It was a big hit. Really big hit.
I want to hold you really fast before I ask the next question and go to Angelique. We got to take a quick break and see what's happening in our Bay Area from Tampa Bay Gay. We'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Hey everybody, it's Dave with Tampa Bay Gay. I'm outside of Sandy's Hair Studio and Spa where I just got my hair done. Listen, now it's more important than ever to be supporting small businesses and our allies. Here's this week's events. Have a good week.
Join us this Wednesday, July 12th, as we celebrate the one and only Miss Raquel Blue's birthday. It will be a very special night of cocktails and karaoke as she kicks off the party starting at 9. There are shot specials all night for a little liquid courage. We'll see you at Quench Lounge. It's this Saturday, the 15th, and spots are still open for Found Family Collective's Active Shooter Aggressor Training Course taught by Weapon Brand. This is free for all in the LGBTQ plus community. Reserve your spot now for the class starting at 11 in St. Petersburg. This week's Metro events. July 12th at 7 p.m. is the Positive Charge Group meeting in Tampa, where they are creating a brighter future for individuals living with HIV. And then on July 14th at 10:30 a.m. is 50 or Better Coffee Talk, your new home away from home, meeting at the St. Pete location. The Tampa International Gay and Lesbian Film Festival and Daphne Ferraro present The Evolution of Drag, Drag Through the Decades. Join Daphne and 11 of her closest friends as they mix comedy, dance, history lessons, and glamorous costumes, all at the Palladium in St. Pete. Get your tickets now. As always, thank you for watching and supporting us, and visit TampaBayGay.com for the latest local events, digital content, and more. Also, please like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, guys, so that's what's going on in Tampa Bay from TampaBayGay.com. So I want to get back to you, Quana. I wanted to ask you, so you just told us that it was a surprise that you guys closed. Allegedly, there was a meeting saying that he wasn't going to close, but you found out on the 25th, that Sunday, that was the last day. You found out via a text and social media that you guys weren't coming back. Tell me, were you angry? Were you kind of pissed off or like what? Because
Fucking angry. I was fucking angry. I got 3 fucking children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty much a single mom. I mean, the least you could have fucking did was give me a fucking notice. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest. Like, anybody know, like, that was just kind of like a low blow move. That was a fucking low blow move in my mind. Because at the end of the day, we all have to live, we all have to pay bills. But it's a difference when you got it and others don't. Like, most of us there was fucking depending on a fucking check every fucking week, you know?
right.
At the end of the month, we got rent coming up. Like, what the fuck? Like, where's the fucking law? It should be a fucking law for stuff like that because I talked to one person recently. She can't pay half her shit right now. Shit, I'm struggling, but I'm gonna make it happen because that's what I fucking do. I make it happen.
Let me
But I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. At the end of the day, people are gonna be people, but this shit has to something has to be changed just within our fucking city because it's supposed to be a place for everyone. It's supposed to be a fucking place for everyone. Least you could have did was gave everyone a fucking notice, at least a 2 weeks notice.
So let me go to Angelique. Angelique, I'm sure you've heard of the closing and everything like that. And how do you feel? Like how do you I'm not sure you've ever been through something like this. I think so, in a different way, but how did you feel hearing what she just said?
Yeah, I think that anytime a business is going to go out or decides to close, that they should always give their employees ample time. I think there's always a fear that by telling you, like, hey, 2 weeks in advance, like this is the last 2 weeks of the business or we're closing here, you always fear that people are going to run off, they're going to leave, you're not going to be staffed for those specific events. But I also feel like anytime I've ever heard of a business closing, that is that last call. Like if you've built a good relationship with your employees, if you've done right by them, they always will stick with you to the end. So I really feel like this just goes to further emphasize all of the rumors. It just goes to further emphasize all of the fear and the doubts that people had about how that particular individual treated their staff. Because if you know your staff loves you and you love your staff and you treat them right, you could come to them with this kind of information and be like, hey, listen, I thought that we were going to be fine. I thought it was going to be okay. I thought that this would be cool, but it's not, So unfortunately, we're going to have to close at this point. But by him setting that false standard and then closing out of nowhere and truly telling nobody and just, I hate hearing the stories of people coming to work the next day and the doors are locked and closed. We've experienced that at several places here in Tampa, Florida. I've experienced it at other places in other states where I've lived. So, I mean, it's just one of those things that, like, it's never been a good thing. You could have just told us we're human beings. We have every right to be mad. This is our income. This is our livelihood. Like LaQuana said, she has 3 kids and she has bills to pay. She has things that she has to take care of, that she's relying on this paycheck, no matter how big or small it may be, to provide. And that's wild that people think that that's okay. I don't agree with that ever. I don't think that that's ever the right move. Like, regardless of whether they want to leave, you got to give them the option. You're closing your doors regardless. If they want to go work somewhere else, if they want to do something else, that's their prerogative, but they should have the choice. You're messing with people's livelihoods. I think that that's never a good thing. But overall, I think that he honestly fucked everybody over because he never really cared to begin with. He got his money. The fact that he stayed open Pride morning for brunch and closed and was done once his rush was over, once everybody was done for the day, just goes to show exactly how he felt about it.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel.
Go ahead, baby.
I'm sorry. That's how I feel too. Like he has what he needs. You know what I'm saying? Like he has fucking income. He's able to just write a check out. Yeah, we got to go out there and figure out how we're gonna pull our ass. So at the end of the day, at least give us a notice.
Can I ask? Now the cancer thing, did that play into anything for you guys? Like, I'm gonna go to Quana. Like, the fact that he says his cancer comes back, do you think that should have that justifies him closing like he did? Or,
well, to answer that question, and okay, so as a person that actually just started a business, that's why you have people that should be running your business for you. But when shit like that come up, you're able to focus more on that, but have the trust that somebody else can run what you created or what you're funding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to always fucking be there. Sometimes you being there was the reason why the shit was going on. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being for real. So you should have trusted your GM and your kitchen manager or your sous chef or your chef to run your business. Why do you have to be there to make any damn thing happen?
What about?
So, I mean, it was the trust thing. It was That's really in my mind. That's what it was. I feel bad that he has cancer. Yes, but that shouldn't have stopped your business from running.
And what about you, Angelique? Do you think that played a part in? Does it justify his actions or does it not?
I don't know. I completely agree with LaQuana. Like, I know it's not hard at all. Honestly, it shouldn't have affected at all. That's the reason why you delegate the task to other people. You should have been able to receive your care at home. I mean, technology has changed the world. Back in the day, without phones or internet or whatever, yes, okay, I could see how you would feel about having someone have to come to the hospital and report to you, or come to your house and report to you. But if you want to be that involved, baby, open up your phone, go to Apple Messages and go to FaceTime, or go Google Time Duo, whatever it's called, and FaceTime your staff and get in there and say what you got to say and hear the runbacks and the playbacks. That's why you have team leads. That's why you have management. That's why you have all of these people to do that for you. You choosing to bail out, there's nothing in the world that could happen to you that could make that an answer to the thing. There were so many days I used to work at Hamburger Mary's 4 or 5 days a week and never saw Kirk King once. You know what I mean? Like, he was there when he needed to be there, and when he wasn't there, he trusted his staff at Hamburger Mary's to do the job. When I was working at Liquid, I had someone very similar to this. The previous owner of Liquid, after Michael McCullough left or whatever, that person stayed there every single day in, day out, didn't miss a beat, was always there for everything. And occasionally, every once in a while, he would leave his management team to manage us or to help us get through whenever he truly could not be there. But it was never an issue because he had staff who was trained to do the job when he's not there. Everybody knew the responsibility. He was not a necessary key of the puzzle. I think people who do that, who micromanage, they're looking for failure. And also, in that same hand, the money he made, it's like what people do with stock market. Once you see it start to tank, you buy out so that you don't lose anymore. But you forget that this is not a stock market. This is a business. It's a bioorganism. There's so many pieces to this that make it one living being. And if you pull the plug on that, you kill everything. And it's not just the business. You're not just cutting your losses. You're cutting a lot of losses, and people are going to lose just like you're losing. That's not fair. You got to give people a chance to live. All of this is trash. And if I ever ran into him and could remember what he looked like, I'd tell him he was trash. That's how I feel, quite honestly. But I only met him once, and it wasn't enough for me to really remember him.
And that's Angelique. I want to give my opinion on this a little bit because I have to agree with both of you. Because I was like, well, does the cancer, justify his actions? Because that was basically his reasoning for just closing down all of a sudden. I can't speak to that and how people run their business, but for me, I mean, there's a certain level of accountability and responsibility that you have to have as an adult to not only yourself, but to other people. And for someone that's saying that you want to be a force for good in our community, well, you kind of became a bane in everyone's ass because now we have people having to go struggle to go find a job after believing in you. You know what I mean? You're saying to people that they're not going to close.
And your business.
Trusting
in you and you're
saying
words.
that you're not going to close, and then you do, and then you make yourself into a victim because, baby, a lot of people out there has cancer, but not a lot of them just run out on everything they have to do. A lot of people have that. So that's not, I agree with Angelique, it was such a big of a cop-out to just send y'all a text message to tell you to your face. So I have to agree that it does.
No, you didn't even get a text message, right? You heard through the grapevine from somebody else, right? Or was it a text message from him?
An employee hit me up, but she was like, "Bitch, did you see this?" So she sent me a copy. She was like, "Go into your 7 shift." Went into my 7 shift. Don't give me a notice when I have
messages.
A message. 7 shift only when you log in, it'll show you that you have a message.
Right.
When I got in there, it's when I seen the message. Now I will say this: he did forward our information over to other agencies that should be reaching out, but most of us got a check that we was expecting Friday coming up, and this is Sunday we're talking about. So how is it going to help us in this situation, what you're telling us right
It's
now?
not to help you. It's just to cover some bases and say that I did something. I just got, like I was saying, like I was saying, it was very fucked up because I heard about it from a friend of mine in the community, and I was hanging out at Pride, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta let you know, I know you do the podcast. Jeff is closing the place. This is the last day," and I'm like, "So nobody knows about this?" I just could not be in the shoes that you guys were in and act as calmly. I kind of want to commend you, Quana, and everybody who worked at Zoe's at this time for not burning that bitch down, because me. Me,
don't even get me started, son.
listen.
Don't even get me started. He did give us a day to come get our last check. Was that Tuesday? To come get our last check.
I would have been there to get that check. I would have been in this bitch and been like, "I'm here to get this check, honey. I'm here to do two things: grab this check and then get into his ass. That's why I'm here." No,
right. I feel you on that. No, I feel you on that.
He gave
but
everybody a last
there's
check.
A classy way of doing it. There's another way of. That's the classier way.
Did he give y'all a severance pay or anything? Did he give y'all a boost, like a full, not even a full 2 weeks
he
pay?
Didn't take taxes. Nope. He didn't take taxes out, and he gave us the rest of the food. He gave us the liquor. That was it.
Oh, so he no,
he
ma'am.
Gave you free liquor.
No, ma'am.
But
here you go, peasants. Here you go, peasants.
You can't resell it.
Right. What are you going to you going to go and have a house party with it? Like what do you
So like, you know how you ready to feed the hogs? You just put all their meat in the little bucket and they all just run and get that shit. Yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt. You give me all your leftover shit.
That's even worse. Now let me go on record real quick before we end this segment and end this show, and people start thinking I'm some horrible human being. At no point in time do I discount. I don't discount that this man has cancer. I don't discount that he's in some pain and he's in some things mentally or whatever. I lost my grandfather to prostate cancer. I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer. I have watched these men work till their fingers literally could not work anymore. And right. I believe that no matter what you go through, it's a choice to lay down and die or to stand up and fight. I believe full-heartedly in that. And I get that sometimes it can be, when you're winning the battle and then you find out that you're really losing, it can be very disheartening for your mental. So I get that. I 100% do. And I get that it's going to be an expensive battle for him. The journey is going to be harder. But given everything that he had been through, given everything that he had just undergone, it would be poor direction from anybody in your group to allow you to think that what you have done is the smart move to make. And if you had real friends, they would have told you that you were dead ass wrong and that you did not need to do this to these people, that you should have really thought about your actions before you chose them. But that aside, to have people come back and pick up your last check and to hand them a consolation prize of bottles of booze and food that I'm assuming either was uncooked. He was giving out chicken and ribs and shit like that, just handing y'all like the frozen food or whatever, right? And not even offer like a last meal or a last supper with an apology, not even utilize the space and time you have to ask people to come together one last time. You just gonna hand shit out and think that just makes me feel like he thought so lowly of the people that he hired. Like not only did he take their paychecks, like you that like undeserving. Like you don't even realize what you're saying. And then like I have to deal with the reality that like there's a lot of people who stood up for this man. And I have to now question I have to question people's ideologies of what's right and wrong and really how they really see a situation. And I get when they're paying your pocket and your check is full, but when there's people like you coming on here and the several other employees that have come on here who have sent us messages explaining their truths, telling their truths, I can't help but think that this person really never had any of your best intentions at heart. He never really ever saw any of you as anything other than worker bees for his honeypot. Like that's it. And that's sickening. That's gross. I don't care what you're going through internally. It's a choice to be kind. It's a choice to choose good. And if I was closing my business and I had the extra little bit of whatever, I would have given every little thing I could give. I'd rather would have sold the shit I had inside and given it back to my people because I can't help what I'm doing to you.
Absolutely, because like basically, hold on, Kwan, we got to go on. But basically, I'll go back to you. But basically, he's saying like, "Here you go, peasants." You know, like I was just not surprised that he was going to close like that because I've met him doing this show and interviewing him. He said a lot of things that it made me think that he's a part of the problem in this country. That money and influence doesn't really necessarily dictate how your character is going to be. If you're an asshole, you're just an asshole, and he's always been like that. So I want to apologize, you know, from my heart to these people and to you, Qlicious, for what happened to you guys, because literally, as a friend, knowing that they were closing, I didn't say anything. It wasn't my information to tell, but I felt bad not being able to say anything. You know, I wish I did, because I wanted to ask you guys. So you were saying that there should be a law, like. I want to ask you, should there be a law for any business, corporate or small business, that if you're going to close and shut down your business and no one's going to have a job, should these people have like maybe 7 or maybe 14 days notice? Just really fast, I'm going to go to Qlicious first. And Qlicious, should there be a law out there?
I personally think when you sell or whatever happens, you need to at least give people a month notice. You know how much rent is going on. You know how much rent is in this city. Rent shit is more than 3 times more than most people check now. So I mean, yes, you can at least give us a month notice. I think a 2 weeks notice is better than what just happened. Some kind of just be considerate. You know, and as a business owner, I'm actually learning a lot about this shit now at this time, because I know, like, as a business owner, you have a cushion. Once you sell and you get your payout or whatever, you roll over, get your money, you're able to pay your employees. You had 28 fucking employees that fucking now, even if they did have other jobs, they don't have this extra income they need, or they don't have the income that they need. And I think it's fucked up. Yes, there needs to be some kind of notice. It needs to be mandatory too.
Okay, and let's go to Angelique.
So the reality is that in the state of Florida, that they can fire you without notice, and they don't have to tell you why. So closing a business, it works kind of in the same way. But I do feel like when closing a business, it should be something along the lines of you're given a 2-week payout. If you close immediately, a 2-week payout should be issued immediately, unnegotiable, like non-negotiable, like every one of your employees needs a 2-week payout based on their base pay. No overages, no differences, just a 2-week payout needs to happen immediately. You can take the 0 because, like she said, when you business sells, you'll get that money back. So you can take the negative or the 0 or whatever might happen, because you're going to make that money back. And that way you don't have to track people down to try to help them, because those people need the money now. If you know you will not make it through the month, then I had another business just shoot me an email and say, hey, listen, we are no longer going to be open. We're going to stay open for the summer. We're going to have a sale at this point. This is our deadline. We are sorry that we can't stay open. So all the employees have already been notified. Everybody knows to go look for another job. Everybody has time to still work and still do it and really get their business done. So I know for a fact it's possible, and it doesn't matter what your circumstances. Once again, like, this is what it should be. So the law should prohibit anybody from shutting down a business without providing ample time or ample pay, if not both. And I do agree. I think a month's notice is more than enough time, because you know when you're in the red. Hey, everybody's played fucking Monopoly. You know when you ain't got the money and you still got to make it around the block, bitch. Don't play with me. You still need 4 rolls to get around the whole block. So you waiting for the rent check from somebody else. You know, you're like, bitch, I'm not going to make it around this block this time. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But in your head, you already know you're about to sell these houses and make this money. So it's the same thing in real life. When you're going around, you have to be mindful of that. You have to know what you're getting into. And if you weren't paying attention, then shame on you. You're doing the wrong job. And maybe this business really ain't for you. Maybe this is a sign from God. Hopefully they don't open another business. Anyway.
So
we here. We'll make do.
We'll make do. So we've reached the end of the block. So I want to give
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to jail, bitch. We're done. It's over. It's over.
Obviously, no one from Zoe's collected any money. You're like, damn, like it's kind of fucked up. But anyways, so let's move on. I just kind of want to give Qlicious a little time to sell your own personal business. Qlicious, tell us what you're up to.
So everybody knows that I like my music, but I have a soul thing from, my mom was a chef when I was younger, so I just got into my own little thing of my own business. It's called Qlicious. I'll be actually coming out with different things of carnival food, little slash soul food. So just look out for me and make sure you support me. I'm gonna need community to reach out and help me. I'm working on getting a food trailer. So once I get that up and running, yes, thank you. Once I get that up and running, I got the brand name already. I'm, doing my little thing. When I get that up and running, I'm gonna show Joe how we do it.
I'm not showing up if you don't have a microphone and a speaker and you ain't singing day one. If you ain't singing outside that fucking food truck, I'ma fuck you up. I swear to God, I'ma mess you up. Oh my God, you better be out there.
Listen, I might have to do a little something with that. I've been thinking about like incorporating them two together. So, I am in the midst of actually doing something like that. I've been thinking about it. So yeah, but I want to get that soul food cuisine with carnival little twist. We need some real food out here. People ready to eat some real food. No, for real. I ain't got no shame for nobody that cooks or whatever.
You ain't lying. I was at Pride. I had some terrible food during Pride. I was like, what the hell? I spent too much money.
I found a good food truck. I'm pretty sure they had CBD on their food because that shit had me fucked up. I was so good. Oh my God, I had the best chicken mac and cheese. I don't even know what the name of that truck was, but I swear to God, they put something in it because I was in a movie theater after, like, bitch, I'm high as fuck. I mean, I smoked a little. I ain't gonna lie, but I was like, damn, that was some good ass food. I don't even know. It was a little food truck. Oh my God, it was such good chicken and mac and cheese, and it was just, it was so good. Oh my God, black and chicken, mac and cheese.
Every now and then. I'm telling you, you can find them every now and then, but it's a lot on a regular.
Far and few. Food truck, far and few.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you shared your story with us today and this week, Qlicious. Okay. And I would love to thank you, LaQuana Santiago, for coming here to the show and sharing us what happened with you and where you're going next. Because I can't wait to sing with you again out in karaoke. So this is today's this is the end of the episode of this week, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. I want to thank our sponsor, Tampa Bay Gay. I want to thank our awesome guest, LaQuana Santiago. I also want to thank my amazing co-host, Angelique Young, as well. And for everybody else, we will see you guys next week. And until then, please try to have a little bit more common courtesy. Catch you later.